What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I've been saying this for a while. I'm not surprised that I expected the Detroit Pistons to get into to have this type of fight, man, sooner or later. You got a team, man, that's on a come up. And not only are they on a come up, they just play so physical and they dominate. Now, before this fight started with what's the name, Durn and the guy from Charlotte, if you watch this, like Durn was just dominating them, right? Not only is he dominating, he imposing his will and he talking stuff to him. And this right here is like the league, especially the East, has been put on notice by the Detroit Pistons, right? Everybody see that their playing style. They got two guys, Stewart and Doran, that are very physical and very intimidating. And so Charlotte felt like they had to match their energy. When it's about more than just matching the energy, it's about matching their talent too, to play on the court. And so that's why this melee started. Now, I do think, in my opinion, I think that's good for basketball. That soft era is over with. We getting back to 80s, 90s, early 2000s type basketball, whereas though ain't nothing easy. Nobody's giving you anything. I think that's good for the fans, and it's good for, it's good for the sport when you got guys out there. This not even a playoff game, and you got people running off the bench, and man, this is like, as soon as if you watch the crowd, not that people wanted to see a fight or anything like that, but that kind of passion, man, this would get people, it just get people energized. It just really get people energized. You don't want to see each team scoring 150 points. That's boring. You want to see guys with some passion in there, right? And that's what you got. That's what, when you watch in Detroit, you got some guys out there who playing old school type basketball. People are comparing this Detroit team to the Bad Boy Pistons, which they not as physical as those guys, right? But hey, I'm doing a video, come in the house. They not as physical as those guys, right? But they are, for the times that they know, they can't go as far as those guys did back in the 80s. With when you had Lane Beard and Mahorn and Rodman and Isaiah and Dumas, right? They don't play like that, right? That physical, like those guys hold you to like under 90 points, 80 something, maybe score 90 points and win a game, man, or 80 something points and win a game. Those days, I don't think are going to come back. But the competition, I think that the level that they bring, I think is good for the game. That soft era, man, it just was boring. You had ticket sales going down. You had viewership going down. And now all of a sudden, man, this all you hearing about is this melee that happened against the Charlotte Hornets, right? And I think it's good for Charlotte too, because if you want to be on the court with Detroit, then you got to raise your level of intensity. And the young guys on the teams that face these guys, you got to bring it, or you just gonna get ran over. Then this guy right here, if you go back and look at the highlights, Dorn just was moving him all over the court. You know what I mean? He was just backing him down. So the guy, I don't think that guy even scored. I don't even think he scored that game. So now I want to play audio from Running Back Podcast, right? And see what their take on it is, and come back and give some more of my input.
Guys, we had a game last night, and in that game, we had a battle. Pistons Hornets. I honestly, who'd have thought back in October that this would be a game to look forward to? But here we are. The Pistons do finally end the Hornets winning streak. But the fight in the third quarter is obviously what the entire world is talking about. It started with Jalen Duren and Diabate. There's a hard foul. Punches are thrown. Players leave the bench. Duren, Stewart, Diabate, Bridges, all ejected. This will be an interesting suspension situation for the league to figure out. But
they squabbling now.
It escalated. It went fast. Am I wrong in thinking this escalated real quick, Lou?
I like it. No,
it escalated. It's simmering.
It escalated really, really fast, but everybody found a matchup. Everybody found the guy. I got a quote from a couple of years ago. I did an interview with Taylor Rooks where I say, be careful out there. Everybody ain't out here playing. And as you can see, the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets in a league full of faking and acting like y'all want to do something. Everybody ain't out here playing. Charlotte ain't out here playing.
No.
Detroit ain't out here playing. And I like the fact that these young fellas actually put some money on the line to get their point across. Because, oh, by the way, it will be some money lost in this.
It's going to be some money.
It's going to be a bunch of money lost in this one. But at least they got their money's worth, and at least they earned it. So I ain't mad at all. Only person I'm mad at, Duncan Robinson.
Dude, I was going to say.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson just walked away, right? But see, Duncan Robinson is used to that soft era, man, where, like this stuff like this don't go on. He used to trading jerseys after the game and all that old nonsense, right? That's not what this is, man. You're not going to be trading jerseys with Detroit after no game, man. So that's not what this is. Now, if you look at this between Duren and I can't pronounce this other guy's name. Duren, like this guy put his, like he kind of like tried to like headbutt Duren, and you could tell Duren really wasn't really threatened by him because he took his hand and just mushed him out of his face, right? And that was to me so disrespectful for him to, he was like, man, get out of here. He just totally disrespected that guy like he had been doing all game long. So, and when the guy wanted to fight, Duren was like, he backed up. I think Duren wasn't to get in trouble or anything like that. So he backed up a little bit, but if the guy had a guy loose like he wanted to, then I think Duren probably would have, like he just too big and too strong for that guy, man. Unless that guy got hands like that, which if you look at the way he was swinging, man, it ain't look like it. But Duren, now I don't know why. As soon as something break out on the bench, I don't know why you don't just. Everybody need to just handcuff that dude, Isaiah Stewart, man. You got to handcuff him because this the kind of stuff, and he just looked for this type of opportunities. So yeah, man, I just. Let me see. I'm gonna get back to what they got to say about this guy Duncan Robinson. This not a good look. I got some more to say about Duncan Robinson too.
He's a meme.
Is bad, Duncan Robinson. Listen, if it ever come a time where your teammates acting like they don't trust you, you earn that, dog. You gotta, you ain't look. Oh my
Instant
God,
meme.
dog.
Instant meme.
That's a bad job. That's a bad.
Let me tell you how that's gonna come back and bite Duncan Robinson. The reason why you're like Duncan Robinson and Cade Cunningham, they more so like they're not physical ball players, they're more so finesse ball players. But if you are a finesse ball player, you want to be able to operate in an environment where you feel like you be able to get your shots and get off without people being too physical. If you don't have somebody like Stewart and Duren on your team, the people going to beat you up. But if they know that they beat up Duncan Robinson and they beat up Cade Cunningham, then then they can get away with that. Then teams will do that. And so the reason why Duncan Robinson is able to operate with the way he is because he got those guys behind him. And when it's time for you to stand up for the team, you need to do that. Whether you are, I ain't saying you ain't got to go take boxing lessons or nothing like that. But I think that, you got to stand there and take it with the team like everybody else. You got to be in the middle of that pack like everybody else. You just can't turn your back and then send your Send your guys out there, man. I never seen, even when the Chicago Bulls had Charles Oakley, Mike ain't never leave Charles Oakley out there. When Charles Oakley, it was just Charles and Mike out there. And that's what it was, man, until they traded Charles, man. But Duncan Robinson will learn, man. Or if he don't learn, then like Lou said, man, they not gonna protect him if he don't protect them.
Pretend, right?
No, like I'm not gonna make it about you, but you gotta at least go over there and grab a teammate, do something. You can't turn your back on the guys.
Ridiculous, guys.
Guys, why can't we just get along? Wait, why am I doing that?
You don't have to be nonviolent, but you can't turn your back on the guys while they squabbling. You can't do that.
You legit.
Yeah, that to me, that is just not a good look for Duncan Robinson. So if y'all go back and y'all look at the film on that, Duncan Robinson turned his back, was walking away, waving his hands like he was kind of like, upset with how the game turned out. What was going on the court, right? But you as a teammate, you don't do guys like Duren and Stewart like that, man. That's not a good look. And so if he don't learn from it, then he'll mess around to be playing for somebody else on a team where, as though, like I said, guys will be able to push him and play physical with him, and then no worries about repercussions or nothing like that. That's why, like I said, Cade Cunningham is doing his thing. And he was in the middle of that. Cade Cunningham was in the middle of that. What's the other guy named? Amin Thomas. Or no, Amin Asor. I get those guys. They twins, right? Amin, I think, is in Houston. Asor is in Detroit. But the Thomas guy, he was standing right there, right? That's your teammate, man. You gotta get in there with him. And so Duncan Robinson will learn. But that's my take on it. I think that's good for basketball. I've been saying all year long, not just this year, but since last year, since I seen the way OKC played last year and going through the playoffs, and Detroit starting this year off, I was like, okay, we got some teams out there that's really playing NBA basketball again. The Celtics, Detroit, OKC, and if you get on the court with one of these teams, Houston, you get on the court with one of these teams and you out there half stepping, they're gonna make you look like really like, they're gonna make you look weak out there. So don't nobody want to look weak. That's why Charlotte did, the guy from Charlotte felt like he needed to do something because he was getting pushed. That guy was just backing him down from the free throw line. Beyond the free throw line, as a matter of fact, he'll catch the ball and just back him down. He's just so much stronger than that guy, man. And so, yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.